Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Schwartz-Reichel. My career began in music education where I learned the importance of a key change, a shift, in the tonal center of a piece of music, often used to inject energy or produce significance. Eventually, I realized the impact of making key changes in all areas of my life and the desire to help others do the same. Making key changes can be difficult. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do like to pose questions for reflection and offer actionable key changes for us to attempt in both our working and living situations. Together, we can unlock our greatest potential in collaboration with those we love, serve, and lead. Let's discover how we can grow together by making key changes. On August 23rd, 2015, my mom gifted me the book, Where Will You Be 5 Years From Today? The book's cover is red with a giant white number 5 on it. I know the exact date of this gift because my mom wrote the most beautiful inscription on the first page of the book. Her inscription started with, "Dad and I are all smiles wishing you a very happy 37th birthday." It was followed by an exclamation mark with a heart used as the dot. Her closing sentence read, "Enjoy the book. Let me know 5 years from now if this book brought about any life changes and new insights for you." My mom gave me this book on the eve of a big key change in my life. I was less than 2 months away from the birth of my first child. She knew that the next 5 years would bring a lot of key changes to my life. Mom was right. I was gifted that book almost 10 years ago. At the time, I felt overwhelmed by the physical and emotional changes that were occurring in my life. The book has sat on my bookshelf. Through the years, I have flipped through the book several times, but I never fully read it or utilized its workbook capacity. It's off the shelf now and being read. With a little less than 5 years to go until I turn 50, I felt it was a good time to resurrect the book and finally allow its contents to guide me. The opening paragraph reads, "Decide what's next in your life and strategize how to get it." You don't have to take life the way it comes to you. You can design your life to come to you the way you want it. This is your life, your one and only life, and you don't want to miss any part of it. So what is it going to be? You decide. Starting today, you can make the next 5 years the most exciting, satisfying, productive, and amazing years of your life so far. Or just another 5 years. Why 5 years? As I started reading the book, I kept asking myself this question. What's the significance of the number 5? With a little research, I learned that the number 5 symbolizes freedom, curiosity, and change. It can be interpreted as having the desire to have adventures and explore new possibilities. It reflects transformation and personal progression. The number 5 has significance and special meaning in astronomy, biology, faith, and religion. It also represents human perfection. My favorite number has always been 23. Ironically, 2 plus 3 equals 5. Coincidence? I don't think so. I am always thinking about where I want to be in the future. Sometimes this distracts me from being in the present, like I mentioned in episode number 1, titled Productivity versus Presence. Take a listen to that episode if you haven't done so yet. Side note, the audio isn't as clear back then in those first 10 episodes. We made many key changes to improve the podcast, especially with its sound quality. Thinking about the future energizes me, though. Just like the podcast, I always want to improve my life, too. Sometimes I am thinking a week, a month, or even a year ahead. Thinking 5 years ahead allows me to decide what I want or need in my life and strategize how to get it. As I approach the next milestone birthday of 50, there are many things I want to be, do, and see. Where do you want to be 5 years from today? Do you ever think about this? Or are you too busy with day-to-day challenges that you don't even think about it? In the book, it reminds me that 5 years will be here in 260 weeks, or 1,620 days, or even 2,620,800 seconds. In other words, in a blink of an eye. Before we know it, 5 years becomes 10 years, then 15, then 20 years and more. A lifetime goes by in a blink of an eye. What could have taken us only 5 years to achieve might never occur if we don't decide what we want and strategize how to make it happen. What key changes do you need to make to get to where you want to be 5 years from now? I gathered several ideas from the book to contemplate this thought process. Consider the following questions for reflection to guide your decision-making and strategizing. How are you living on purpose? What are your values? What is your mission in life? Listen to episode number 17 of the podcast titled Mission Possible to help refine your vision and compose your mission. What are your talents? What are your dreams? How can you think big? How can you trust your ideas? What are you doing now to achieve your vision? How can you make a difference? Who are you grateful for? How do you define success? And how do you want to be remembered? Although I didn't read the book my mom gave me almost 10 years ago and fulfilled its action plan then, there still was a great deal of growth during that time frame. There are almost 2 sets of 5 years that occurred since the book was gifted to me on August 23rd, 2015. Personally and professionally, my life has changed a lot, though, in these almost 10 years. I achieved many dreams, but I still have many more dreams to achieve. I am reading the book now, making decisions, and strategizing where I will be 5 years from today. Will you join me? Let's discover how we can grow together in the next 5 years. I encourage you to check out the show notes for some resources. There is a link to my website and one where you can sign up for the Making Key Changes newsletter to receive weekly inspirational content delivered directly to your email inbox each Wednesday. Please keep spreading the word about this podcast and consider rating or reviewing it too. How are we making key changes to decide and strategize where we will be 5 years from today? Thanks for listening. If you haven't done so yet, please consider rating and reviewing the Making Key Changes podcast on the Apple Podcast app. If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with others and joining me again next week. In my coming episodes, I'll discuss topics that are most passionate to me, along with things I've been researching or areas of my life I have changed or want to change. You can learn more about me on my website, makingkeychanges.com. Feel free to message me through there or reach out on social media. I'd love to hear from you and learn about what key changes you hope to make.